Hey, what's up guys, Clue here, come back with a new video. Today's video playing some, not City Skylines this time, but actually TFT. Oh, I'm trapped in here, that's weird. Okay, I'll just get that item. So, kind of this video will be more so about what this game is and a little bit of like a, an introduction, I guess is the best word for it. So yeah, I've noticed that some people I've talked to didn't really understand the game, and if I'm playing it on stream, I'd hope to allow people to be aware of what the game is. So with Teamfight Tactics, it is a League of Legends auto chess game. So basically, the game is kind of similar to chess in the sense of you're playing for. It's very strategic with your positioning and making certain movements. There's differences in picking up certain characters and synergies, but we'll get into that later. So with this game, you have your own little character that has really no impact on the game. So I could run him over here and do nothing. It's all about these characters. So I've got a Mordekaiser and I've got a Garen. Anyone that's played League knows these characters currently. But you then verse, I think, 8 people. Yeah, 8 people. And you all start with 100 health. And the first 2 rounds are PvE rounds. Actually, the very first round is what they call a carousel. So there's the characters running around in a circle. And it's pretty much a fight to get that character first. Or which character you want first. In my case, I got unlucky in this game, so I didn't get what I wanted. But usually you want to try and work out what you want first. And then as later games go on, as further the game goes in, you're more likely to find higher level characters. And also, the higher level you are, or the lower health you are, I mean, the more likely you are to find, more likely you are to get your character, because you are the first one to be out of your little cage. They put you in cages so you don't just run off and take the character you want. So there is a benefit of coming last, but there's also not, because you're closer to death. And then comes in with gold. Gold is what you use to buy characters. So you can see I just bought characters here. For every round, I believe, for the first 3 rounds is 3 passive income. And then once after that, it becomes 5 passive income. And then for every 10 gold you have, you get 1 gold, up to 50. So if I'm sitting at 50 gold, I get 5 gold extra. So I'm making then 10 gold. And then if you're losing games, multiple games in a row, you can then get what they call a loss bonus. And that would just be helpful to try and keep you in the game. You don't just spiral out of control kind of thing. I don't have a gold for that, no. So with that, then what do you spend your gold on? So you spend it on these characters, but also leveling up. So at certain times in the game, actually I'll explain leveling first. So levels are, you start at 1, and you get to about 8 is pretty much the latest you'll get. You rarely ever get 9, but you can get to 9 if you put a lot of work into it. So each level you get to place 1 character. There is changes to that based on items, and we'll get into items later as well. But the other thing that comes with levels is the chances of getting different characters. So each character has its own cost. 1 cost, 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost, and 5 cost. They're usually, people refer to them as rarity. Kind of. I messed that up, shouldn't have done that. But actually I can just sell that and I got 10 gold. So I did that to get the 10 gold for the interest. As you can see, interest maximum 5. It says +1 next to it. So now I'm making 6 gold instead of 5. You want the gold to buy characters. And as I was saying, with each level, it increases your chances or decreases your chances of getting characters. So at level 5, I have the highest chance, I believe. No, not the highest chance, but I have a good chance of getting level 1s, 2s, 3s, and a slight chance of 4s, I believe. Maybe not 5. I don't think 5s are in it, though. So then you have to decide, well, Do I want to level up here and get higher level characters that are stronger, cost more, but I probably won't get as high level? Or do I just go for my low cost characters? And that all depends on what you're building. So with your synergies over here. So in my case, I currently don't have many synergies. I've got the knight buff, which will give me a 20% blocked damage to my knights. Usually these aren't too big earlier on, but you can usually build something out of anything here. Like I could go assassins, I could go shapeshifter, I could go ninja, blade master, pirate, gunslinger. That actually is a build, but it's not too good. I believe, yeah, there's 13 origins, which are your like races, and then there are, I believe it was, I gotta get it now. So 10 classes, I believe. Yeah, 10 classes. So with each class and each origin, there are different, different like abilities they have. So with my knight, as I said just before, they block damage. With my noble, I can get 100 armor and health per attack. So it gives me a little bit of health each time my character attacks. And then you can get imperial, which doubles your damage. Then you can get ranger, which gives you a double attack speed. And each one of those, you can't get all of them. That's just how it is. And some of them are harder to get than others. So glacial, which is a chance to stun, it's actually quite hard to get because you need a tier 5 character, or you need to get an item, which is this item here. As you can see the guy walking around with. It's called the spatula. If you get two of those, if you get one of those and a giant's belt, you can turn it into a glacial item to make your character then a glacial. So that I'll go on to items now. I think I described most of the races. Every character has at least one race and one class. I think all of them have one race, but some of them do have two classes. Gangplank being one of them. He's a gunslinger, pirate, and blade master. So he fits into a weird category where he's multiple. Some of them are like that, most of them aren't. So yeah, you can go for pretty much any build in this game. Some of them will work better than others, and you don't want to go into a game where you go, oh, I'm going to build this, because everything's luck. I may not get a Veigar next game. He may not show up in my shop. The one costs usually will. You most likely find every one cost at the start of the game. And then, just because I got the Veigar, he might not actually work for what I'm building. He might be... I might have all, I don't know, noble. So, I have no sorcerers, which means you have no synergy. You want to try and build around your characters that you currently have. I'll sell that. Then we have items. Items are... They're an interesting part of this game. I think most of the battle chess games have this kind of idea. And that is that there are 8 items. And each of those 8 base items can be formed with another item to turn into a stronger one. They're all either league items that are currently in the game or previously in the game. And you can see that here this person has the Luden's Echo, so that does gives them mana and ability damage, but also increases every spell that they use does 200 splash damage. So it all depends on what you're going to, what items you build. So some characters would prefer attack speed, some characters would prefer magic damage, and you kind of just work off that. Each character has its own ability, and some of them don't have mana, but they all have their own either passive or normal ability. Swap that out. So then now I have the noble buff and the ranger buff. So with that, now one of my characters has 100 armor and will heal for 35 health per attack. If I get 6 of those, all of my allies, not just nobles, but any ally, will have that kind of ability, or buff. So this is a PvE round. This is where you get your items. most of the time. Carousel's another place, but it's not as it's reliable in the sense of you can get what you want, but you may not. So here, if I was to put get my recurve bow and put a BF sword on there, it would produce an item. It's not the item I want, but if I was to go 2 BF swords on one character, this is a little fun trick that I know. If I do BF sword and BF sword, I've now just made an infinity edge. I can then sell that character that had the infinity edge, and then I can put it on my Vayne. So I do that so I can put the item on her, because if I was to put a BF sword there, it would turn into another item. I lose my BF sword, and I don't get what I want. So it's all about strategy, really. This game, I think that's why it's called chess, to be honest. Because it's so strategic. You don't get to control your character. They do that. That's all done by a computer. That's none of your doing. The only thing you can do is buy characters, level them up. Actually, I haven't done leveling, and position them in a way that will beat your opponents. Some characters you want to be close to, depending on what you build. Some of them you want to put all your tanks on the back line because you're versing assassins. Assassins will jump to the back of your team. So it's all about strategy like that. And when I mentioned leveling, I forgot. Not just your little legend, which is this little chicken guy with a sword that I have, but also every character in this game has multiple tiers or levels to it. So you can see this has a star. This one's silver here. So she's level 2 and he's level 2. With that, then it means they're level 2. So they have a bonus health and attack damage and a few other little bonuses that I'm not too aware of. But also her ability goes up. So now it does 0.1% damage of them. So it does 0.1% of them maximum health bonus damage. And then each time you level up, it gets stronger, more health, a bit more damage. Different items are better for different things. And some of them are harder to get higher levels. So your higher tier characters, your 5 cost, you're not as likely to get them higher level. First of all, because they cost more. But second of all, because a weird thing in this game is there's only so many of a character. So in some cases, it's actually a good idea to buy all your characters that are in your board. And then leave it at that. You don't want to buy any more. You just want to... You want to try and steal characters from opponents. Stop them from getting their build as well. I've got this character here, Darius. He's no use to me right now. I could put him on and give the night buff, but these buffs that I currently have are better than just the night buff. And he doesn't really fit in any other way. So he's just sitting here stopping anyone else from getting this character. So level 1 has 36 characters. I know level 9s have 30. Oh no, level 5s have 9. Just quickly get it up. So okay, tier 1s have 39 of each champ. So there's 39 Vaynes, 39 Garens, 39 Dariuses. Then tier 2s have 26. So my Braum here, you can see he's a gold, so he's green, not gold. He's 2 gold is how much he cost. He also sells for 2 gold. There's 26 Braums, so you need 9 of them to get to level 3, because you need 3 of one character to make him level 2, and then 3 level 2s to make a level 3. So you need 9 characters overall. I'm gonna get that because I want it on my Vayne anyways. And then with the tier 3s, which is my Ashe, and as you can see, like the Volley Bear and the Morgana here, there's 21 of them. And then there's purples, which I don't think we've really got into the stage of the game yet where purples show up, but they have 13 of them. And then tier 5s have 10, so not 9 but 10, which means if anyone else was to, so if I wanted a Kayle, a Yasuo, a Nivea, any of those kind of characters, and someone else had bought it, and they're still in the game, I won't be able to get a tier 3. Or actually, I could, but it's extremely hard. Yeah, so you want to really find what you're going for and build it. So if I was given, I don't know, in this case, I've been given Noble. It was my first kind of starting area. And then from that, I've put in Rangers to give more damage to my team. But I've now got Guardian, which now puts armor on my team. And I've got Glacier, which also stuns. So over time, you'll start to find things that work, and in a lot of cases, there's stable builds that you can do. So Ranger, Noble, Guardian, and Glacial are a really good build. Then there's Shapeshifter, Dragon, Wild, yeah, and Sorcerer. So that's a bit bigger of a build, but you don't get as many maximum tier characters. Weirdly, my character just died. I think I ran out of time. That's why. So yeah, there's a time limit on your versing as well. So if you take too long, you can still lose. So as we just leveled up, so this is a tier 3, level 3 Vayne. So now she has the 0.12% damage of their maximum health. She now has the Infinity Edge and a Gwynsu's Rage Blade. So in the Infinity Edge, her crit damage is deal 100% more damage. And then my Gwynsu's Rage Blade, for every auto attack she does, she gets a bonus attack speed. So she then attacks faster. This stacks infinitely, so she can just infinitely attack faster and faster and faster. Pretty strong, but starts off quite slow unless you have other items to work with it. That's kind of scary. She's hurting my characters. Okay, she's good. She's gone. So this person's gone a bit of a demon kind of build. Demon then takes away a bit of your mana, I believe. It has a percentage to take away mana. And with mana, you want to try and get your characters to 100% mana, depending on which ones. So Vayne can't. But Garen, if he gets 100 mana, not all of them are 100. So that's 75, 100, 150. But if you get 100 mana on this character, or 75, or whatever, you fill up your mana bar, that will then use their ability. So for Garen, he spins around. He becomes immune to magic damage and deals damage to all nearby characters. Each character has their own ability, and as I said, it gets stronger by every time you level it. So, what was I trying to say? Like, some characters you just want to stack mana on them. So with this Ashe, she might actually be good to put this tier on her. Right now, no, because she'll get a redemption, so not an item I want on her. But if I was to put a tier on her, then she starts with 20 mana instead. If they then put a BF sword with that tier, I can get Spirit of Shojin, which then means that she starts with more mana, and then for every auto attack after she's used her ability, she'll get more mana back. So it's a very strategic, not just with your characters, not just with your positioning, but with your items. What you're given, which is the hard part, you might be given really bad characters that you don't like. You can get really unlucky in this game, but most of the time, if you're unlucky, it's partly because you don't know what you're doing, but also a lot of the times you can make luck work for you. You can go, okay, well there was. So I was given Nobles. I know that Nobles go well with Rangers. They go well with Glacial because the Rangers go well with Glacial. Knights work. I could go full Noble, but full Noble's not as strong as some other options. Early on in the game, you can start off, in this case, I could have started with Noble, and then I found that I was given another character that was better, so I may have been given like a brand, and I had the items to make a brand really strong. If that was to happen, then you go, okay, I might change what I'm doing, so I can have a full Elementalist build, or full demon build. So it was a brand there actually. So now I can sell my Darius because I just dropped below the 50 mark. So if I sell that, then I get my mana back. I'm not playing as good as I usually would because I'm talking a lot more than I usually would. And I just got unlucky in this game that I versed the same guy twice. Maybe unlucky, maybe luck. I don't know. I did win against him last time, but was that purely because I had better team? Yeah. So apparently I got a better team right now, and that's right now. Weirdly enough, he hasn't put a Guinsoo's Rage Blade on his character, which Guinsoo's is quite a strong item, one of the better items in the game, but maybe he has a reason for that I'm not aware of. So we're looking at probably going for... I think this build that I'm going for right now is 4 Rangers, 2 Glacial, 2 Guardians, 3 Noble, and 2 Phantom. So in that case, the Guardian then gives armor to surrounding characters. Noble then gives armor and healing to one character. Glacial has a 20% chance to stun. Ranger then will have a 65% chance to double its attack speed. So that means more damage coming from my characters. And then Phantom, if I can get it, which hopefully I can, will then turn my damage that I deal... Oh, well, actually, no. It will start a character's health at 100. One of your opponent's health. Which is pretty strong if you're versing like a tank or something. You can then cut his health to 100 and pretty much one-hit him. So that's a very RNG kind of... what's it called? Origin. Because it may land on the wrong character and then you just go, oh crap, well, you know, that's done. I don't get to do what I wanted to do. So here, this is this carousel. So you can see like the gold or yellow here is tier 5. Purple is tier 4. Blue is tier 3. Green is tier 2. And white is tier 1. So you can see at the top where I am, my character moving around. He's stuck where my mouse is. He was stuck in a cage. This guy here is stuck in a cage as well. So here I'm going to go for this item. I wanted the higher tier because then I can sell him for more gold. But yeah, you get stuck in a cage depending on what where you're placed in the rankings from health. And then from that you get to choose, walk into your character and you've then got him. So we're trying to look for... Okay, we've nearly got a tier 3 Mordekaiser, which would be pretty nice. I probably should have picked up the Brom now that I look back on it. That was a bit of a mistake. And I didn't find actually anything that I really needed there. So I could put on the Mordekaiser here, but then I'd lose one of my synergies. So it's actually better for me just to leave him out for now. At this point in time. We're reversing this guy that we've versed 3 times now. So maybe he's leveled up and got a bit better. Maybe he's changed his positioning. We'll have to see. It looks like he has higher level characters on his team, so my team's struggling a bit more. But it seems like we'll still win. One of the buffs kicked in. I'm pretty sure Ranger kicked in and increased our attack speed on our Vayne and Ashe. So you can see that I'm going for a level 3 Ashe right now, which could be risky. I may not actually get it, and if I don't get it, then I just sell it. I do lose 1 gold because I tiered it up. If for every character you have, they pretty much come and you can sell them for the same gold. So I buy that and I sell it, I get back the same gold. Didn't change anything in the game. But if I get 3 Lucians and then sell that Lucian, I actually lose 1 gold. It's not usually that big of a deal, but sometimes it could be. I'm going to put a Warmogs on my Garen just to make him stronger, more health. Hopefully last longer as well in the long run. I leveled up and didn't realize, so it will automatically put a character on the board for me. As you can see, they've put 2 of the same items on, which is the Locket of Iron Solari. That does a lot of damage, but does a lot of shielding, and currently kind of broken. But it's one of those things where they've got to invest in other things for it to work. Alright, so this is my second Ranger. So now I have all my Rangers I want. So this is where I want to be looking to level up and getting everything on the board. So I'll actually pick up that because I can't really level right now. So we're just going to quickly look. Alright, didn't find what we want, so we'll drag those over there. And what do we want to put on the board? So we want to put these 2 on the board. So we need to level up twice or move things around. So in this case, it's actually probably better for me to take off the Mordekaiser, putting on the Kindred and the Virus. Then I can get my level 4, my level 2 Ranger, which is 4 Rangers. So we just picked up a Spatula. Spatula, probably not the best item for us, actually, just looking at it. It might be okay, but I don't think we really have any synergies that we're missing right now that we could improve. So, Spatula's a weird item, and maybe that's like actually, I can probably go over it now. So Spatula doesn't give you any stats. It gives you like it's a weird advantage kind of item. So what we're gonna do is level up a bit, push that out, and we're just gonna put the Kindred in. We'll see how that improves. Maybe the Kindred's not the best of options. No, I don't think it's worth putting the tier on her. So Kindred's ability is that she puts a zone on the ground, like her normal ultimate in game if you've ever played it, and that will keep your characters alive in that area for a certain amount of time, and they only sit at a minimum amount of health. So kind of good, kind of bad. As you can see, Ash didn't get hit by anything other than the Phantom buff. So we actually kind of got unlucky with the Phantom buff in the sense that it targeted the wrong character for us. If it had hit the Vayne, maybe even better. It's all luck based, really. So we could I think we'll sit here for a bit and grow up our money again, because we don't want to overspend and then hurt ourselves. So I'm going to put on another item onto this guy, which is the Sword Breaker, which will disarm the opponent. Disarming means they won't attack, which is very strong if you have a high attack speed character or a beefy character. It also gives armor and magic resist. So quite a nice item. So we're in the top 4 right now. So funnily enough, I wasn't really paying attention to the game. I was just kind of playing my game and kind of explaining what's going on, and I've ended up into top 4. When Ranked comes out, which is meant to be in the next 2 weeks, I'm not too sure. I'm not part of the League Partner Program, don't know any inside knowledge. I thought it was coming out last week, turns out it wasn't. But when it comes out, top 4 is considered winning. You won, so you get to go up in ranking and stuff like that. But when people say that this game is very RNG based, it is, but also isn't. It's RNG based if you go into the game going, I want this. You don't want to go into a game going, I'm going to build full Glacial, because I might not ever find a Nivea. Then you got to use a Spatula and turn it into another character into Glacial. So that's a possibility. But you just really don't want to go into a game going, I'm going to build this. You want to go into a game open-minded, see what you're given, and then work from what you're given. And that's where the skill comes in and the lack of RNG becomes a thing. So probably after this level, after this round, we will level up, because looking at what we have right now, we're losing, and actually we're not losing this one too much. Oh, actually no, we are, just realized. But with that, so they have stacked 3 lockets, which is pretty broken, and there has been talks that it needs to be fixed, and maybe gets fixed tomorrow, I'm not sure, but we still win against it. But anyways, we're going to level up so we can put another character on the board after this carousel. Looking at that, there's not really anything we want. Actually, the BF sword would be nice, because then we can make a Spear of Shojin. And the Spear of Shojin, as I mentioned earlier, is one of those items where you can increase the amount of times they can use their ability. One of those nice little perks. So we'll buy that, and then we're just going to spend a bunch of gold on leveling up. And now that we've leveled up, we can place that, and now we've got more rangers. And then we're not going to spend any more gold. We'll sell that. Actually, I say I'm not going to spend any more gold, but I'm going to do this, which I mentioned earlier. You just do that, and then you can put it on another character. We'll put it on our Ashe, because our Ashe is actually getting close to a level 3 one, so she's the stronger character on our team that actually will use it properly. I could also put it on the Kindred, and I could also put it on the Virus. But in this case, it didn't work for what we're building and based on our levels and all that. So you can see we're against a full Noble team. They've got a tier 5, which is the Kale. She sets a vulnerability on an opponent, or on her teammate, not an opponent. That'd be pretty crazy. But you could see that we just won because I think the Ranger buff became too strong for that composition that they're playing. So now it's all, do we reroll or not? And then you get into the whole limbo of the game, where you could buy him, but he's not fitting into my build. You don't usually want to drop below the 10 gold marks, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, unless you're leveling up, you're close to death. There's certain situations which you decide based on yourself. This is not a game where someone can go, alright, you need to do this, 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 and you'll be a better player. There's tips and tricks you can do to become a better player, but it's all based on decision making and making the decision that you deem is correct. Some people make that decision, and some people won't, and they find that your decision was a silly one. That's just how the game is, and most people get into the game, their first 3 games, they're like, oh my god, I'm so bad. And now they've turned it around and looking like, well, they're actually pretty damn good at it now. You'll notice when, in my 2 previous videos, playing with my girlfriend, she started and she didn't know really what she was doing. She built Assassins. It worked. Assassins is usually a pretty safe one to go early. But she was like, oh, I'm not doing too great. But then when she went online, did a bit of research, found out what items do what classes do what, and had a bit more of an understanding on the game, she was able then to make better decisions. So it's all a bit of research in this game to improve yourself. So we just got ourselves a Force of Nature here, which is one of those spatula items which changes the game entirely. I may be level 8, but with 2 spatulas, I can make a character not worry about the maximum people on the field. So at level 8, I could have level 9 rules in the sense of I could have an extra character on the board. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. And we got really lucky and found a Sejuani. She fits in pretty damn well to that whole situation. We could have put the Cho'Gath on. He's another good option. But for us, he wasn't our best one. I'm contemplating it. I'm going to spend a bit more gold because we're getting down to the dying times of the game. Alright. Didn't find what I want. Oh, we did find a Kindred. So that now that I'm in the game, I don't actually get to level up. I don't get to level up my characters, which is a little sucky, but it makes sense. But with the whole... When the round is over, my characters will level up. Talking and playing a game is a little bit harder than I expected. Alright, so we win this one, and we do knock him out. So, I don't understand the damage model too much, other than I notice that the higher the level the character is, the more damage it does. That's about as far as I'm aware of at this point. Still trying to work that one out. So like a tier 3 will do more damage than a tier 2. And probably right here, I probably do about 30 damage if all these characters live. At level 1, you're going to do a lot less damage than you are at level 8 kind of thing. So as the game goes on, you progressively get a little bit more riskier losing. So in this game, we're actually in the top 2, which is kind of crazy. And this is a person that's been stacking lockets. We have won against him before. So there is quite a decent chance we could win again. And it killed the wrong character, actually. If they had killed a different character, I think we probably could have won. But we got unlucky with the characters that got killed in this game. Oh, no. We lost that round. But we didn't lose the game. So we can continue growing and hopefully find things that will level us up. So at this point, spend all your gold. There's no point in keeping it. You can see a lot of Nars, but not what I want. I don't want a Nar. I'm going to assume that I'm not going to find another Mordekaiser. Probably find one because I did that, but I didn't. Because when you sell a character, I'm pretty sure that characters then go back into the champion pool. So that means someone else can get it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I wouldn't understand why it wouldn't work like that, but there's always a possibility. So in this case, we could change our positioning. I don't really know if it's worth it. Again, kills the wrong characters. It's just these lockets that are there. That's what's making this one hard. Wow, that did no damage. If we had got different items, this round would have been easier. If we had gone a different build, this would have been easier. It's all working out what your opponents are building. So in this game, I should have been looking, alright, this guy's building, in this case, this guy's building dragon. Alright, what do I need to do to counter that dragon? What do I need to do to counter that? Yeah. It's a lot of strategy involved. I'll get this. A bit more attack speed. I can put it on probably my Ashe. Helps her use her ability a bit more. Actually, if I use on my Ashe, how much health does she have? It's not the greatest. I'm not going to get any level 3s of those, so it's not worth it for me to buy that. I'm just getting unlucky. I need another Ashe. One more Ashe and it would have been fine. There we are. Alright, level 3 Ashe. In this case, it's actually worth it. Then I can put Titanic. So Titanic Hydra does 10% of your wearer's health. So the Ashe does 10% of her health as just splash damage. So in this case, it's actually a lot of damage that she'll be doing because it's 200 extra damage on the board. And it's bonus attack speed. So as you can see, whoa, that was a bigger Gnar than I expected. I thought we were going to win that just because Gnar wouldn't have hit everything, but apparently it does. So we're probably going to come, yeah, we come second here. Not too bad, actually, in consideration to the whole thing. Like, we weren't paying a lot of attention. We got unlucky with the build, because maybe not unlucky is the correct term, but we just didn't get what we needed. We got all the things that we'd normally want, but we didn't get the right items. We didn't get another Leona. We took forever to find the other Ashe. Maybe Ashe was a bad idea to invest in. But overall, coming second is pretty good. I don't think there's much else to it other than that. Well, we can go back and go to teamfight thing. And you can see that Orb of Enlightenments, they give you TFT beta points, which means you can then get your pass, and you get closer to a little achievement. So hopefully maybe, probably not the best way of saying that, but hopefully we get the Rift Arena. I doubt we'll get the icons just because looking at the date, I'm pretty sure the update comes out tomorrow, and if the update comes out tomorrow, then we unlikely get it. But yeah, I think this explains enough of the game to be able to get a little bit of an understanding and hopefully be able to either watch the game or play it yourself. But yeah, if you do want to watch more content, I am streaming tonight. Actually, no, it won't be tonight because this comes out tomorrow. So I do stream on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday nights at 7 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Usually streaming with friends, but if you ever just message in chat and say, hey, can I join, and you're on the Australian server, you're more than welcome to join. Maybe not join the chat, I don't know. I'm a little bit iffy on that just because of the terms of service and Twitch, but yeah, you're more than welcome to join us in playing. And if you want to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, it really helps out. And I will see you in Friday's video. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you Friday, or maybe on stream on Friday. So yeah, thank you. See ya.